NEM, and I'll get to that, but I'll go through this quite quickly because I know time is tight, and I'll try and cut it down. I'm not going to try and sell to investors or anything. I'm just trying to let you guys understand what we are doing. All right. My boss hates me the most when I say this. We are building an application. No, not an application. We are building on blockchain to help medical research. Right. That's the simple truth. The company that we are part of is connects investors to medical research. That's what our business is. Investors to medical research. That's what our business is. And then they say, well, we have these problems, which I'll mention, and some of those problems blockchain will help us solve. And then my task was, well, which blockchain technology? Do we use Ethereum, but smart contract? And I've been writing smart contracts for a year. It's a nightmare scenario. And then there was the OS, and then there's a secretive Cardano with the political problems, and then there was a NEO, don't touch that because the China are in charge. Oh, what's that? So I look, don't touch that because the China are in charge. Oh, what's that? So I look, and I discovered NEM, and I met Tricard, and I go, wow, we can actually not only use the blockchain, we can improve it. So we are working on NEM, on Catapult, which is NEM 2, and we're actually building our own wallet interface. So we're building a wallet interface, which is based on the NEM original wallet interface, but we're skinning it to make it work on Catapult, and we're making that source code open now. So you'll be able to, in the next couple of weeks, you'll be able to get that code, and then maybe you can put some value into it. A couple of other things that we have, we are rewriting the REST protocol, which is currently, it's in Node, right? And how many developers are here? Any developers, programmers? Yeah, I know you are. C++, Golang, Node, JavaScript. Right. Well, what we're doing is, because you may be familiar, if you're in the coding area, you'll know about the nightmares of Node and JavaScript. Well, what we're doing is we're recoding the REST protocol in Golang so that we can improve the performance, reduce the footprint of the Docker image, for example, for the Catapult deployment. So we're doing quite a few things, all right? But we're keeping our team small. So that's the introduction. I'll run you quickly through what we're doing, all right? And I'll see where we're up to here. Okay. Originally, I called this blockchain meets. Oh, it says block now. It says blockchain meets health tech. All right. Now, one of our original problems that we're trying to solve is that for medical research, it's called drug repurposing. When drugs can be suitable for other purposes. Here's an example. Can anyone tell me what Viagra is for? Anybody? Blood pressure. But did you know it doesn't work for blood pressure? Right? So what was the other reason they found Viagra for? They discovered by accident, as we mentioned before, many solutions are found by accident, and they discovered that when they did a recall on Viagra, they found that a lot of the men refused to give it back, right? And what we think is that their wives wouldn't let them give it back, right? That's what we thought. But what we discovered was that the Viagra's other purpose was to help eyesight, cataracts. They discovered that this was a real breakthrough found by accident. So that's an example of drug repurposing. So drug repurposing requires quite a lot of number crunching. And so we're using blockchain, or we wrote blockchain here. We're using the NEM as a way to distribute what we call target execution, distribute execution across all of the nodes and all of the wallets, okay? So here, this is an example of that. One of the use cases, we have many, but I don't want to go through them all. You'll see here, right, we have certain proteins, genetic sequences. We have various drugs with their genetic sequences. Now, a lot of you may be familiar with things like, what do they call it, Frankenstein. When they developed Frankenstein's monster, you see all these bubbling jars of liquid and they're mixing them up, right? And then they're testing them on the rats, and then, 50 rats, but 3 survived, so there must be a good mixture there. That's how they used to find drugs. But what you may not realize is that most of the drugs now are done by data analysis. It's about finding the signatures, finding a match, a protein match. This is called, what do we call this, Simon? Block? What was the phrase? Blocks? Sorry, the word in my head. Connecting things. What was that phrase? Do you remember? Anyway, we have a lot of meetings with universities, but it's about connecting these genetic sequences together, the signature with a protein signatures, right? To find a new match, a new drug candidate. Now, if you look at this, put these two together, and there are sequences that run to find these drug matches. Now, if you look along here, you'll see that we do this, we sequence it, and find a candidate. But can anyone read this number? 71 and 21 zeros. I discovered that that number is sextillion. 71 sextillion. That's 21 zeros. That means that that is how many sequences need to run to find one candidate. Just one. That means it's easier to find a Bitcoin on your mobile. Right? That's how difficult it is. So what we're doing is that we are breaking this algorithmic sequences down and feeding it out through all of our blockchain nodes and all our wallets. And everybody who's part of this ecosystem will be running genetic sequence matching. So everyone's taking part in discovering new drugs. All right? This is just one of our use cases, which is our priority. All right? Problems to solve. Okay, I don't want to go through a lot of this. Some things like single point of failure. It's one of my. I'm a little bit critical of a lot of blockchain projects. I don't want to pick on any particular, but a good example would be you hear of distributed networks, Ethereum, right? But really, what is distributed? The data distributed, right? The actual core data, the ledger, is distributed. But the actual application is not. So if you want to use, say, CryptoKitties, and the CryptoKitties company or the wallet that has your CryptoKitties on it goes down, your data's there, but you've got no access to it. This is your single point of failure. So you've got to remember this when if you're developing an app. This is a pet peeve. I'm not going to go through all of these, but some of the little things that we'll mention. We're using NEM on our Trinity. Trinity is a three-way authentication. And if you know mathematics, which some of you programmers will know, triangle, if you know the angle at any 2 points, you can calculate the third. So by breaking a private key into a Trinity, into a three-point module with an angle, you can actually protect users from themselves. So you can create a custodian, create a company host, and the person's private key. Then any one of those three gets lost, they can recover. Alright, so it's about like trying to have the bank helping the user, right? You can read our paper about this, I don't want to go too into it. And then things like decay, removing stuff off the blockchain. Target execution is one of our use cases. So we have a second use case in our execution for finding new. Let me explain it in a different way. One of the problems the university professors have and the researchers is the amount of data. They don't have enough data to improve the AI. So we have an AI situation where we don't have enough data and we want to find, say here's an example, certain images in X-ray scans. So to improve the AI, to find anomalies in X-rays, they need a lot of data. So what we're doing is we're putting our nodes into medical research centers, into data owners, things like clinics or hospitals, making this data available. And then a good example would be that an analyst would write an AI script, then that script will be delivered to the data owners, executed, and the result is then returned back to the ledger as a transaction. So the data stays private. That means that the owner of the data doesn't have to worry about it leaking out or being copied. Because the current situation, they give a USB stick to the analyst, and he runs his algorithms, then the owner wants his data back. but how does he know it's not being copied or something? So this is our second use case that we're working on. Yeah, I'll skip the rest. Okay. Now, multi-node participation. This is for the people who don't understand what blockchain is. All right. So I'll skip over this. It's basically putting things in a law in the ledger. All right. And then application layer. We break it into our layers. Skip that. That's pretty straightforward. Any questions? No. Good. Alright. Now, this is also a little bit on the business layer. We can say that our blockchain here has got our decay principles. Here's one nice part. This is called proof of III, which is you always understand proof of importance, okay? But because of our use base or our customer base, the doctors, our professors at the university, there is a lot of confusion. They don't understand the technology that we're working with. So we create this proof of and I can't even remember what all the I's are. Things like integrity, what is important, something like this. But this is basically the proof of importance model, and we use that to describe it to the doctors and professors so that they can understand that it's safe, basically. All right. We've got the multi-sharding, multi-mining. Mining is the important part because these data owners that I previously mentioned, they get rewarded for quality of their data. So X-ray images, MRI scans, when the quality is better, they get rewarded more, right? And I'd like to, I can talk for 2 hours on this, really. I'm just trying to rush through. And here's another reason that we like the NEM, 512 sharp, where a lot of the others are just 256. And what else? Competitive transactions. Now, I noticed one of the guys said 3,500 transactions per second. We calculated it at over 4,000. So I think, especially with our C++, with some of the refactoring we're doing with the Golang, I think we can push this up. I think we can push it up a lot, to be honest. Okay. And here's another great thing about our NEM projects, the API gateways. Every node is an access point, which, as I mentioned before, about CryptoKitties, right? Single point of failure. What we're going to try and look at is there a way we can distribute the UI part of the application to the nodes, and then wherever you are, you can access your website, your interface, etc. Okay. And I think this is just a summary. Pretty much what I've already talked about. Here's our team. Darren, you might see him around. He said he'd be here today, but he's a bit late. I'm over on the right there. Ian, co-founder, he's our chairman, but he's also very deep in the health tech community. So as you can see, our implementation or our focus on using NEM and blockchain approach for medical research is very much geared from this drugs discovery, helping the medical community, building robotics, building clinics. This is our business already, and we're just adding value with the blockchain. All right. You might even recognize a few guys here. Let's have a look. Anybody? Oh, there's Dave. Dave, say hi. Okay. And then a few partners and people we know that we work with. That's it. But there is something that might be interesting to some of you. A friend of mine, Regina Gitt. Does anyone here know who Regina Gitt is? She's the advisor to Kerry Lamb, the CEO, the chief executive. Right. Well, she's come to our office, and I've done her team. I've not done her team. That's the bad phrase. I've educated her team on blockchain. Let them understand what crypto is, what blockchain is, Bitcoin is not blockchain, etc. All that kind of stuff, right? So we're educating them, working really closely with the government. And so Kerry wants us to look into helping the government introduce blockchain to various departments. So we're quite close with these guys, and that's something going under the hood at the moment. And I'm also been asked to put a presentation together for Singapore government, because they also feel that they need to do something. And if we're going to do it, we're going to be dragging them with us. All right, so that's my update for them. Thank you. No questions, right?
Thank you. Now we have Bill with us. He just traveled from Malaysia or Singapore just to come here with us. He's running Latin Statistics,